I'm trapped in a hospital, and I'm not alone. Written by Big Scrimp. It was a cold winter night when it happened. The sounds of tires sliding around on the ice. The sound of an 18-wheeler, glass shattering, bones breaking. It all happened so fast. All that I can remember is the sound of the ambulances. Then it all went black. But somehow, by some miracle, I survived. I was the only one, but I soon wished I hadn't. I woke up in what looked to be a hospital, but something was different. You know how you usually get that gut feeling when something went awry? Well, that feeling grew more and more intense as time dragged on. That's when what I could only assume to be a doctor walked in. She, or it, was around 7 feet tall, but thin as a rail. It looked at me with eyeless sockets.
"You're awake, and so soon,"
the thing said in a dry, raspy, but yet feminine voice. "Where am I?" I asked groggily. She ignored the question and walked out of the room. That's when I noticed that I was okay, that I was unscathed. I got up out of the bed and walked to the door. The hallway looked like one of those horror movie hospital halls. I walked out into the blindingly wide hall, squinting while my eyes adjusted. As I looked down both sides of the halls, I noticed something strange. It was completely devoid of anything living. "Hello?" I shouted out into the nothingness. "Is anyone here?" Then I heard a low mechanical growling noise, like the sound an engine makes when you start it up. I began to make my way to the source of the noise. Then something put its hand, or hand-like appendage, on my shoulder. Without moving my head, I looked at the thing. It had what looked like pencil-length claws. I slowly turned around, only to be met with the same doctor who was just in my room. But this time, I had a better look at her face. Upon seeing her face, I threw up.
"What are you doing out of your room?"
she asked. When she smiled, I could see the razor-sharp teeth that lined her mouth. They looked as small as a dolphin's teeth. I was brought back into my room and put back in bed.
"Don't move now,"
she said.
"The doctor will be with you shortly."
I waited for her to leave again before getting up to find out where I was. That's when I noticed the window with its shades drawn. At first glance, it appeared to be nighttime. Then I moved the blinds and saw nothing. It was just an abyss, pure darkness. I stumbled back, landing on my ass. Then I felt my back hit a set of legs, and my hands fell on a pair of shoes. I looked up to see that grin. She was toying with me. Then she frowned.
"I told you to stay in bed,"
she said, beginning to get angry.
"The doctor will be in shortly."
She then picked me up by my armpits and laid me into the bed. I just want to know where I am," I said, hoping that she couldn't hear the fear in my voice. She walked out again. When I figured that the coast was clear yet again, I got up and began to run down the same hall as before. Then I heard the screech. I looked behind me to see the nurse standing with her head back and mouth wide open. I kept running until I could no longer see her, and then I ran into something. It looked to be a larger man with blood-soaked scrubs. I started to crawl backwards until I got to my feet and began running. I made sure that I was out of view of both of them before running into a random room. I began looking around until I saw it. A computer. I quickly jumped onto it and started to see if it worked. I nearly screamed with happiness after it turned on and found a connection. I loaded up Google and started to see what worked and what didn't. I heard footsteps draw near. Slow, heavy footsteps. Like the person is wearing some sort of weighted boots. I quickly dived beneath the table, watching as the boots came into the doorway. My heart stopped. It was what the monster nurse thing described as the head doctor. The thing drew nearer until it was directed by someone or something running down the halls behind it. I quietly sighed a relieved breath as it left. Not in a hurry, not a run, but at a quick-paced walk. I snuck out into the halls and started to follow the things, but I made sure to keep my distance. After what seemed like an hour, they went into what I could only assume was the operating room. I waited there for about a minute until I began to hear loud, pain-filled screaming. I crept to the door, looking into the window only to see the things were slowly flaying the skin off the poor victim. I swore but was cut off when the nurse turned and looked at me, pushing an unnaturally long and bony finger to her lips. I stumbled back, crab crawling for about 3 feet before getting up and running, not paying attention. I ran headfirst into the nurse. She was just there waiting, smiling, showing her dolphin-like teeth. I yelped in pain, and for just being jump-scared. It tried to grab me, but I instinctively pushed it away. I ran back to the room with the computer. Well, that was yesterday. I'm starting to get hungry and thirsty. Really thirsty. I did a scouting run about 2 hours ago. I found a mess hall. I might have to make a break for it. I saw that guy again. He's just like them now. I'm not sure how long I can keep this up. I'll update you if I manage to get through the week. Hopefully, see you guys soon.